Started. So if I could have Leon, Elaine, Rita, and Russ, please raise your right hand for your oath of office. And repeat after me, please. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly
I
swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will
that I
support
will
that I will
the
support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the
and the
Constitution
Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and
and
that
that I will
faithfully
that I will
discharge
faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of City Council Member
of the office of City
office
Council
of City Council Member,
in and for the City of Mason,
in and for
and
City of
therefore the
Mason,
City of Mason,
County of Ingham,
County of Ingham,
County of
State of
Ingham,
Michigan,
State of Michigan,
State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best
of
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. We will call the January 4th, 2021 regular city council meeting to order. First order of business is roll call. Just remember, you need to tell me if you're present and your city and state. Councilmember Brown,
Present from Mason, Michigan.
Councilmember Clark,
Present, City of Mason, Michigan.
Councilmember Josha,
I am present from the city of Mason.
Councilmember Ferris,
Present Mason, Michigan.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Present, Mason, Michigan.
Councilmember Vogel,
Present from Mason, Michigan.
and Councilmember Whipple.
present from Mason, Michigan.
Our next order of business will be the election of the mayor and the mayor pro tem. Just to give you an overview of how this will take place, I will open the nominations, and anyone can nominate who they would want for that office. I will ask that 3 times before I close the nominations. And I will do, once I close the nominations of mayor, we'll take a vote then, and then I'll do the same exact thing for the nomination for the mayor pro tem.
Madam Clerk,
Yes.
don't we have to do the?
Oh,
pledge of
I
allegiance?
am so sorry. I totally forgot. I'm not used to doing this.
It's okay.
Before we get to that, can you all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation to be led by Councilmember Whipple?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, we first of all thank you for this opportunity to take part in the government and political process of our town as we start a new city council. We ask that you continue to bestow your blessings on our city and guide this group as we embark on what is hopefully a much better year than the past year, and we can put the bad news behind us and move forward and do good things and do them in a way that fulfills your will. Amen.
Thank you, Russ.
Okay, now we'll move on to the election of the mayor and the mayor pro tem. So I am going to open up for nominations for the mayor.
Sarah, this is
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel. I would like to nominate Russ Whip for mayor.
Are there any other nominations for the office of mayor? Any other nominations for the office of mayor? Hearing no further nominations, I will close the nominations for mayor, and I will, since that we had only one nominee, Russell Whipple, I will go around and ask for your vote. Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Josha,
Yes.
Councilmember Ferris,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel,
Yes.
Councilmember Whipple.
Yes.
Sorry. So Russell Whipple has been elected as mayor for the city of Mason. I will now open up for nominations for mayor pro tem. Does anyone have anyone they would like to nominate for mayor pro tem?
Madam Clerk,
Yes, sir.
I nominate Marlon Brown.
Nomination has been given for Marlon Brown. Are there any other nominations for mayor pro tem? Any other nominations for mayor pro tem? Hearing no further nominations, the nominations for mayor pro tem are closed. We had one nominee, Marlon Brown, and I will now ask for your vote. Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Josha,
Yes.
Councilmember Ferris,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel,
Yes.
Councilmember Whipple,
Yes.
Councilmember Brown.
Yes.
Hearing that is 7-0, so Marlon Brown has been elected as the mayor pro tem for the city of Mason. Being all the nominations are all finished, I will now turn the meeting over to the re-elected mayor, Russell Whipple.
Thank you, Clerk Jarvis. Next item on our agenda is public comment. Seeing a handful of people here, Christy English and an iPhone in Georgia. Do any of them wish to speak during public comment? I don't know what the iPhone is.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Whipple, I was just here to support Dad.
Okay, thank you, Christy. Yes.
through, Mayor Whipple, I just wanted to interject that there were no written public comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, hearing nobody wishing to speak, we'll move on with no public comment. Next, we have the consent calendar. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move the adoption of the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
Consent calendar moved for adoption by Mayor Pro Tem Brown, seconded by DeRosa. Could we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Clark,
And I want way too many papers to go through here. All you have on, if I'm reading that right, all you have on the consent is the minutes, correct?
that is correct.
Yes.
Councilmember Josha,
Yes.
Councilmember Ferris,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel,
Yes.
Mayor Whipple.
Yes. Sounds like consent calendar is approved 7-0. We have no unfinished business. The next item is resolution 2020-01, which is the appointment of city council ex officio appointments to city boards. As has been the custom, I would like to propose names to fill the slots in these resolutions. Then the council can take them up as they will. My recommendation would be that on 2020-1, that resolution, the election commission be Rita Vogel, planning commission be Leon Clark, and the zoning board of appeals be Jerry Schaefer. So I would ask that somebody introduce those, or this resolution 2020-1 with those names.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move the adoption of City Council Resolution number 2021-1 with the insertion of the following names: Election Commission, Councilmember Vogel; Planning Commission, Councilmember Clark; Zoning Board of Appeals, Councilmember Schaefer.
second,
Been moved and seconded to adopt resolution 2021. Thank you for correcting that, -1. And approving the city council ex officio appointments to city boards with Vogel to the election commission, Clark to the planning commission, and Schaefer to the zoning board of appeals. Is there any discussion on the resolution? Hearing no discussion, could we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Councilmember Josha,
yes,
Councilmember Ferris,
yes,
Councilmember Schaefer,
yes,
Councilmember Vogel,
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Brown,
Yes.
Mayor Whipple.
Yes. Resolution 2021-1 is approved 7-0. On resolution 2021-2, I would propose that the Historic District Commission rep be Rita Vogel. So would someone like to move that resolution?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
I move the adoption of City Council Resolution number 2021-2 with the insertion of the following names: Historic District Commission, Councilmember Vogel.
Is there a second?
second,
Moved by Brown, seconded by Drosha, adoption of resolution 2021-2, mayoral ex officio appointments to city boards and commissions with Councilmember Vogel appointed to the Historic District Commission. Is there any discussion on resolution 2021-2? All right, could we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Josha,
yeah,
Councilmember Ferris,
yes,
Councilmember Schaefer,
yes,
Councilmember Vogel,
yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Clark,
Yes.
Mayor Whipple.
Yes. Resolution 2021-2 is approved 7-0. Next, council member reports. Are there any council member reports?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember Vogel.
I would like to congratulate you on mayor tonight, and also Marlon, congratulations. And welcome back, Leon. And I look forward to your work and vast knowledge for the Planning Commission, especially with all capital improvement plans. So thank you. I look forward to working with you in these next 4 years. Welcome back.
Any other council member reports?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you to all of my fellow council members for your unanimous reelection for me for Mayor Pro Tem, and thank you to Councilmember Drosha for placing my name in nomination. I look forward to serving another 2 years, and I hope that I make everyone proud and treat everyone equally and fairly on the council.
Any other council member reports? I would echo what Marlon said from my perspective. And also I have a question. The new email quarantine system, I'm curious if I'm using it right, because if I am, it's a complete pain in the keister. I get an email every day with 5 or 6 emails that I have to click through separately. I mean, it's a 15-minute process at least, and then you can't, there's no way to bulk, and that I can find. I'm curious, is this what we've got to live with now? Is every time that we have a quarantine email in our city account, we're gonna get an email that tells us about it, and then we gotta click through each one of them individually? Or what happens if we let them just stack up and don't do anything? If I remember right, they might just go away in some period of time. I'm just curious, so I understand what I'm doing if I decide to just ignore this email that I get every day.
Can we get some guidance to you offline, or is that something that other council members are looking for the same?
Well,
guidance?
that's why I'm bringing it up here, because I'm wondering if any of the other council members are having similar concerns.
I agree. Yes,
I-
it would be nice
It's
to
a
hear
good
what,
question. I've been ignoring it. So I don't know if we're supposed to click on it. I've just been like ignoring them.
I'm not sure if you're receiving something different than staff receives. I'm assuming it's the same thing, but in our staff, in ours, we can ignore, they will go away, or you can click on the link and view them in the link and delete them there. But they are, I mean, they will stack up for at least before they go away, but you can ignore them.
Okay, and then after a period of time, they just are deleted anyway? But they're not, if they're deleted, they're not blocked or blacklisted or anything, they're just deleted, is that correct?
At least with the I have, you have to make them come into your email. So you actually have to designate that if they're clicking on that. Because I have a few that continue to go to spam, and until I whitelist them, they won't come out of that.
Well, I'm thinking more about the blacklisting, so I can just stop seeing them altogether. If I don't blacklist it, does that mean it's still going to pop up in quarantine after it, say, reaches, I think it's the 10 days or whatever it is, and it's deleted automatically? I don't remember if the document said that.
If you don't mind, I'm going to have Michelle unmute since she's on here, and she is the expert texting me.
I knew she was here. I figured we'd get there sooner or later.
Michelle, if you don't mind unmuting.
Yeah, I'm here. They're still working out the kinks, but yeah, you should get 3 emails a day at certain times, and then it'll have anything in that email that's quarantined. And if it needs to be whitelisted so that you get it, you would have to log in and release it. I'll check with them on if it gets blacklisted if you do nothing. But they do go away, so you can ignore them if it is junk. That's what I've been doing.
Okay, thank you.
Well, it doesn't,
Go ahead,
it
Jerry.
doesn't work that, still doesn't work that well. I keep getting spam. I got one from you today, Russ, asking me to buy you gift cards that came through with no quarantine. And no, I didn't buy you any gift cards.
Well, you could just hand deliver them, Jerry.
I will.
Just make sure when you get those though, that you do report them though to the IT, right? Because we them internally, and they often go to multiple people if they are sent into one. So the quicker we can let them know, the better.
Yeah, my address has been popular of late in sending junk to people. So,
Yes.
and I don't know anything about it. I get just calls and questions from people, and that's all I know that how it's happening. So I'm not sure what's going on. Any other council member reports? Yes, Leon.
I guess I interpret this portion of the meeting to be council member reports, from liaison reports to committee reports to those kinds of things, but it appears to be an open forum. So I guess I'd like to address a question to you. I'm wondering when the council is going to determine when they're going to go back to in-face meeting. That so we're not tripping all over each other with the cumbersome electronic crap that we have to deal with.
Good question.
I know the state has extended the ability to do that if you so desire, but it's not a requirement. We certainly have a big enough room to where we can spread everybody out in mask and do the right things. I think it's important to get everyone in the same room and be able to carry on discussion and share information without having to deal with all the cumbersome electronic stuff that's in the middle.
Well, the way it stands right now, we meet, we're meeting electronically until either the state says we can't do it anymore, or the council decides not to do it anymore. And the council has not taken any action on that. No, it's not been brought up.
We could though.
Yeah, absolutely. And at any time, the council could, vote to go a different route, and maybe it's a good idea to put it on the next agenda, to have that as an action item, and to give staff a chance to respond to how they would handle it if we did go to personal or in-person meetings, and also to allow council members to contemplate if they have any issues with that, and let us know. The one challenge we have is right now, Mayor Pro Tem Brown and the city manager and I have been working on a change to our rules of order to kind of codify the rules, if you will, for participating in a meeting remotely, both like this, where the whole meeting is remote, or under the other circumstances that the legislature does allow now, and that is individuals responding or participating remotely. We were actually hoping to bring that to the council for consideration at the next meeting. So it's my understanding that we would not be prepared to allow any individual council member to participate remotely. Plus, we're also limited, by the county and how many people can meet inside. And with 7 council members and at least 1 staff, I think we would go over the limit. That's not something the city council or the city has had anything to do with. That's a county rule. So, I mean, that's where we stand on it. I think the next meeting will be after the current state health department orders are supposed to expire. So if that were to happen, then perhaps the county would change things too. So it might be timely to have it on the agenda for the next meeting.
I understand the current limit is 10, so we would be under.
Well, unless anybody from the public showed up.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just think it's important to highlight, also just preservation of city staff. And,
Councilmember
one
Vogel?
being sick.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
I don't want to, but we're not debating it now. See,
Well,
I
our
just,
meetings,
we're gonna
if our
have it on the
meetings are
agenda.
open,
Yeah,
we have to have the public, and we can't.
We'll have
say-
it on the agenda at our next meeting. That's what I'm trying to say. We're not
Yeah.
going to debate it now. We'll have this issue on our agenda at the next meeting, and go from there. I answered I hope I answered Councilmember Clark's questions about where we're at and why. And I agree. It's probably time to have it on the agenda, and especially if the state's health department orders expire or are not renewed, I should say, before our next meeting, which our next meeting would be on the 18th, which I think that week is when everything is supposed to open back up. Does that answer your questions, Leon?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. Yeah, I hear you. Any other council member reports? Councilmember Ferris, did you want to say something?
I was just asking, are you making provision when we discuss this? Are you making provision for not being able to attend in person?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, the proposal we've got in the rules change does address that. Yes.
Thank you.
The challenge will be, obviously, does the city have the technology to even accommodate it? But we, hopefully Deb can give us an update on where we might stand on that if it were to go. Our next meeting, as it stands right now, will be a virtual meeting, and we'll have this on the agenda to discuss, and then we'll also have the agenda item to discuss whether we continue virtually or in person. And I guess, Deb, I see you're nodding. I'm just asking if you can give us whatever information you can give us about the limitations regarding that. I think we all know what the pros are, those of us that would like to meet in person, and I'm one of them. But you can tell us what the limitations are.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to it will be a beneficial conversation for the council to see the rules that, we've been working on to propose, because that will basically address those that may want to still participate remotely and what the restrictions of that would be. And as you mentioned, they'll expire on the 15th. The health department right now is restricting to 10. Their restriction is actually less, or the state restriction is even more conservative than that, but the counties is still 10 with multiple households. So there's no restriction on households under the counties. So we'll have more guidance then. We should know what, if it's been extended or if there's different restrictions.
Any other council member reports? All right, city manager's report. Did you want to add anything to what was in the packet?
Well, there wasn't anything in the
There
packet.
wasn't anything in the packet. Disregard that. I just noticed that. That is not a hot link there.
I thought you were joking on that, but it was.
Well, yes, I was joking. Thank you for
Okay.
covering me there.
Okay. The only update I wanted to know is that over the break, we've been working to be in contact with Ingham County as they're coordinating this next tier of vaccinations. And we've been working with our staff to identify those that want to be prioritized in that vaccination threshold in those different tiers. And so those that have identified in that, what they call tier 1B, which is our first responders, those are starting to get scheduled. Some even had them as early as today and maybe even a little bit last week. And so I think it's been a little bumpy, but they're working through the process, but we're getting our people in and we're getting them vaccinated. Just for council's reference, once a tier is opened up, a person may not be ready at this point to get their vaccination, but they can anytime after that tier is opened up still be prioritized, but they just get immediately scheduled if they're interested. So we have reached out to all of our team members so that the next tier that will open up for our staff will be our operators, our DPW workers. And so they'll be the next in line in order to get, and it's not the next tier that is open, it's the one after that. And then there may be operations that will get prioritized as well that tier, but they're still evaluating what that threshold will be. And that's all I have.
All right. Any questions for the city manager? I would like to just kind of jump back, if the council will allow me, to note what I should have noted earlier on our boards and commissions. We still have some vacancies to fill. Anyone, if you know anyone who might be interested, specifically the Building Code Sign Board of Appeals, the Zoning Board of Appeals, I believe, well, maybe the Zoning Board doesn't have an opening. The LDFA has an opening, and the Historic District Commission has openings. Dana at City Hall will be the best source, knowing exactly what's open and what's not, if anybody has a question. But if you know of anybody that would serve well on those boards or commissions, please encourage them to get their applications in.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I know Planning Commission, you were allowed to have a resident who was outside of the city limits serve on. Is that just for planning, or is that across all boards?
The Planning Commission will allow that. We can also do that on the DDA or the LDA, the DDA, if you're somebody representing a business, but you don't have to necessarily live in town. The LDFA, I believe our appointees have to all be within the city for us, the ones the city appoints. But the other entities like the school and whatnot, they can appoint people that are from outside the city. Other than that, I believe
historic district?
that has to be in the city.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm sorry to jump back on that. Any questions on that? All right, then the meeting will be adjourned. Thank you.